most commonly asked question I get right now is, what would you be doing, or what would you suggest an agent does in this changing market environment? Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the one exact strategy that if everything was taken away from me and I had to go back into sales, that I would do to take my business to the next level. I'm Jimmy Burgess. If there was one strategy that I could encourage agents to do in any market environment, but especially in this market environment, it would be unsolicited video CMAs. And what an unsolicited video CMA is simply this. It is recording your screen and giving a homeowner an updated idea of their valuation in a way that even when they didn't ask for it, you're adding value in a way that's going to bring value back to you. So let me give you the background on this. When I was in sales, the last quarter that I was in sales was the fourth quarter of 2018. I decided each day that I worked, I was going to create a video, basically like you do on Zoom. I used BombBomb. You could use Loom or one of those where you could see me in the corner of the screen. I was going to record my screen, and I was going to go through and give them an updated idea of their value. I was going to do one per day, and I was going to email that out to a homeowner each day. Didn't work every day. We had the holidays, and we had some weekends that I didn't work, but I ended up working 72 days. I did 72 of these unsolicited CMAs. And the results were that I listed over $11 million. And at that time, we didn't sell everything we listed. I sold over $9.1 million worth of those listings that I took, really from a 30-minute a day activity. Let me give you exactly what this looks like. First thing I had to do was make a list. I made a list of all of the homeowners that I knew that had either been past buyers of mine. I went back and I talked to people that were in my farm area that had mentioned they might sell, people that I had talked to that were friends that said they might sell or that were homeowners. And then I got on a little low list, or if you're new, you want to make sure that you're just putting in neighbors, anyone that you know that owns a home. Maybe it's someone that's a family member that owns a home. Maybe it's someone that you've met at an open house. Whoever it is, make your list of those homeowners. Start with the lowest hanging fruit, those that are most likely to sell. That's where you want to start, and then just start doing one a day. This is the things. I had 3 different tabs pulled up. The first tab was this. I started with Google Earth. I would have their address pulled up. As soon as I would start to record the video, as soon as it went live, I would press their address into Google Earth, and it would do this cool thing where it comes in out from outer space, really grabs their attention, lands on the top of their house, and it's rotating around. This gave me the ability to capture their attention immediately. What I would say in that portion was, hey, it's been a little while since I've gotten you an updated idea of your valuation. Most people want to know where they are right now as far as the valuation of their home. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you what's active on the market now that you would be competing with if you were getting ready to sell it. Also, those things that are out there that are under contract and the ones that have sold in the last 3 months. The next tab then I would go to would be the tab from the MLS. It would have those active, pending, and solds already pulled up. Or if you use a CMA program, you could have your CMA pulled up. I just used the active, pending, solds. Pulled that up and said, as you can see, there are currently 3 for sale, and I would have it already pulled up. I didn't have to memorize it. It was right in front of me. I would read that off. I'd talk about what was then pending, and then I would talk about what was sold. I would then look at the sold average price per square foot. I never gave them an exact value. I gave them a range. Right now, what I would be saying, and what we're saying when we're doing these is, if you're at a place where you're wondering about your value, I'm going to give you a range because I haven't been in your house in a little while, but it would take me 5 minutes to walk through the house and get you an idea of exactly what your place would sell for. And I would give them a range of roughly about 5%, 7% of the value. In a lot of cases, it would be $25,000 to $50,000. And then I would take the middle part of that number, and the last tab I would have pulled up was an estimated seller's net sheet. On that, I would take the historical closing costs for a seller there, and I would just basically take the sales price minus their closing costs, and I would say, obviously I don't have in here any mortgage payoff that you would have to have, or any prorations, or some small fees, but this gives you a rough idea of what you might what you can understand of what you might take away were it to sell right now. Again, I never asked them if they wanted to list their house. All I did was simply give them value. In each of these, I would say, by the way, also, if you are curious about where your value is into the future, all you have to do is come back into your email and you would search, and I titled each one of them the same way, your address, whatever it is. So I would say 123 Main Street, valuation update. And then that gave them the ability to know that they could come back and look at this. I then would just simply say, I hope this is helpful. If I can be a resource in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Never ask them if they want a list. Out of that simple 3 to 5 minute video unsolicited CMA, I generated $11+ million worth of listings in a very short period of time. This works. This is an activity that you can do right now. But here's the beauty of this. I loved using BombBomb, and the reason why I used it was because it gave me the ability to see when they opened up the email and how many times they watched it. So then I could follow up. It also told me if they didn't open it. So then I could actually go back, and if they didn't open it, prompt them again and say, hey, I just want to make sure I got the right link to you. I took some time to really get you an idea of your value. I think this is one you're going to want to see. I ended up getting where we were getting almost 80% open rates on the initial ones to where after a few extra emails, we got 100% open rate on these. This was a great tool. Now, what I loved about BombBomb also was because I'd queued them that if they ever were curious about where their value was at a certain point, they could come back and just look into their emails. All of a sudden, 18 months after I did these, the pandemic hits, and all of a sudden I start getting these notices from BombBomb that people are opening these emails again. I had not made a single call because I'd shifted into the position I'm in now at that point. I'd not made an outbound call to any of those owners since that time. Ended up being able to refer out over $5 million worth of additional listings 18 months later from a 30-minute-a-day activity. This absolutely works. If you want more details on it, just reach out to me. I'll be glad to get you some details and some examples. But if you're going to do one thing right now, what's working right now, unsolicited video CMAs is the way to go. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.